Yeah.
And then we still gotta have a public hearing.
We gotta be on the team.
That'll be on the 10th.
Yeah.
10th is when we're final.
Yeah.
Today's when we'll decide what we're gonna do.
Keith, just taking on more coffee. Hello.
Morning, Susan. Well, thank y'all for being here. I know I've spent spent quite a bit of time talking to Eric. Eric, let me just say, bless your heart. They've got you overloaded. I know, and I can't imagine.
The legislature
Yeah.
doesn't do us any favors, right?
Well, they never do.
I was gonna say.
When did they never help us. And
My time frame got changed.
oh yeah.
I thought I had 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all are on this side versus the other side.
Yeah.
I have a lot of counties that were the week after the 13th because we thought we had till the 29th.
Yeah. And that
Goodness.
So let me go ahead and call the special session of Van Zandt County Commissioners Court to order November the 3rd, 2021, 9:04 a.m. Quorum is established with all members of the court present. Chad's here, he's here. So all members of the court present. Anytime we call to order, announce quorum, we have to give an opportunity for public comments. Did anybody sign up, any sign-up sheets for public comments? No one signed up for public comments. Item number 3. Well, let me go ahead and, Eric, we have a Judge Plaster from Precinct 2 here. Then Jennifer is here. She serves as the commissioner for the Commissioners Court. Ann Nelson, she's a vice president of the Democrat Party here in Van Zandt County. Lance Lynn's chairman of the Republican Party, and this Judge Shin. We've served together for years. He's actually the Justice of the Peace in Precinct 4.
I was planning on moving him out of this precinct.
But that's who, I mean, we invited, I think, everyone to the table here. Item number 3, to receive and provide information, evaluate demographics, take action to establish criteria for redistricting, and take possible action regarding redistricting of county political boundaries. Eric, you've got the floor.
Oh, thank you. So let me just make sure.
Y'all can move around if y'all want to move in chairs and stuff. We can get some more chairs out of here if y'all want to be able to see the maps.
Here, look, I'll move my stuff because I'm going to be over here. So I'll move my stuff out of the way. Spread out.
We need some more chairs.
More chairs out.
Yeah.
Area right there.
I will talk here and I'll move it over there just for mine. Just nudge me. Okay, thank y'all for going ahead and adopting the criteria before today. I showed that it's being completed. I think you and I talked about that. But just for everyone who's here and everyone who may be listening in or whatever. So there's criteria that comes about just through the Voting Rights Act, the U.S. Texas Constitution, and the Texas Elections Code. And so the Commissioners Court took up and evaluated. There's a 14-point criteria that meets those guidelines, and that's the consideration that we go through when we look at redistricting the boundaries. One of them is we make sure that we maintain minority communities as best as possible. I'm an East Texas boy myself, so I will just use this as an example every time I go to East Texas. Everybody understands this. In 1937, my grandparents bought a ranch. They were the only Anglos in the entire community. It was a historically Black community for years and years. There's cemeteries, there's churches, there's businesses there. We were the only Anglo family there. Even when I was a kid in the 1980s, there was no whatsoever anybody but us, you know. And so that's a community of interest because they have historically always voted together. If you went to there today, when I go out there, there is no such thing as a historically Black community there anymore. There's Hispanics, there's whites, there's still some Black families that are along there, but it looks nothing like it did even 30, 40 years ago. But we still try to maintain those types of communities of interest. Same thing, not only under minority considerations, there are just communities of interest. My dad's from a town called Montalba. He said he graduated from MIT, which was the Montalba Institute of Technology. That was great. So he tells everybody he's a graduate of MIT when he was alive. But that's always our joke. Montalba is a stronghold of voters. They believe in voting at the same place every year. And so no county commissioner would ever split that little community up because they go to the same church that's ADA compliant and they have voted there for 100 years. So that's a community of interest of like-minded individuals that you try not to. Y'all are in a good position where I call you the four square counties. Most East Texas counties and all the West Texas counties are four squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, because the county seat is the hub. And so you don't have to gather population from somewhere. But beware, it's coming. Because if you look around Smith County, if you look around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, if you look around Travis County, those four square counties now are being touched by significant growth. And so if you get a 60% growth up in precinct 3 in the far corner, what do you think that does to the rest of your county population? That means everybody else has to go up to 3 to gather that population. So we're not there yet, but it's coming. We're seeing that growth. Even those counties right around, even Smith County, are starting to get that growth pushed back, you know, just in one precinct. So those are the things that we take into consideration, keeping communities together, making sure we keep our election precincts as best we can. We want to be very respectful of incumbents and make sure we don't move any JP commissioner, constable out of their precinct because they have been elected to serve the people that they're currently in. And so we want to do that. Other things that we take into consideration, maybe road miles or something like that, where we don't want to get too off kilter, if possible. You're not an urban county. And then, like I said, racial demographics. Y'all have already passed that criteria, so we don't have to do that. I pulled your data from 10 years ago, just so y'all would understand kind of what process we're going through and what you're looking for. 10 years ago, Van Zandt County had a population of 52,579. Today, you have a population, and this is all according to the U.S. Census Bureau, of 59,551. So a growth of about 7,000 people. The interesting thing about that is a lot of counties are telling me that there's undercounts, you know, that they don't think the data is accurate and they know of subdivisions that come in. That's not my job. I'm just the lowly lawyer here that took what the Census Bureau did during COVID and doing the best I can to equalize what you have. A lot of questions have come up about the 10%. What does that 10% mean? That 10% is the unconstitutional one person, one vote case law, and the Voting Rights Act that said anything over 10% is just presumptively unconstitutional. And what that actually means is every person in your precinct has the right to vote for you. You're the holders of the purse, the four of you, and the judge as the county's taxpayer resource, right? So they want to make sure they hold you accountable. Well, the example of what I'm talking about is if you look at precinct 1 and precinct 3. Let me go back to the 59,000. 59,541 is your total. You divide that by 4. Simple math, right? That comes up to 14,885. That is the ideal population for each one of your commissioners' court precincts, right? So according to the census data, precinct 1 had 14,180. And when you look at that, what we call deviation away from the ideal population, that's 4.74. If you look at precinct, was that me? May have been my fault. If it was precinct 3, their population is 15,712 for a deviation of 5.55 above. So the interesting thing there is if you look at 14,180 versus 15,170, that's a difference of 1,600 people, right? And so that one person, one vote means if I'm going to precinct 1, I only got to get through 14,179 other people. But if I'm a voter in precinct 3, I got to get through 15,711 people. So that's where that kilter is off by 1,600 people. So you want to equalize it as best you can so that every vote counts exactly the same, or every person that you represent has the same availability to get to. So somebody told me my East Texas math was not correct, because when you look at 5.55 and add that to negative 4.74, you don't get 10.29. And I said, this is not normal math, this is fancy math, right? So fancy math is your ideal population is right here in the middle. We divide that so the county by 4, and you come to 14,885. So you look at the deviation, you have the 705 voters below in precinct 1, and you have the 827 voters above in precinct 3. And that creates your total maximum deviation away from the middle, right? So that's the part that we're adding. And that's what got y'all to 10.29%, which requires you to redistrict.
If we'd have been under 10%, we wouldn't have to change anything, but because we're at 10.2.
So you're just, I had one that was 10.06. And they were like, are you sure somehow we didn't mess up just by one person? And they went ahead and redistricted. But I have some counties that are at 7, 8, 9% that are moving forward too, because there were some things that happened 10 years ago that they weren't happy with, and they want to try to flip it back to major roadways and things like that. And that's what we use here. The census blocks are usually defined by either roads or streams or creeks or very easily identifiable boundaries. They're typically not an imaginary line out in the middle of somebody's pasture, although every now and then I'll see that. So that's what you're required to do, and that's why you're required to move forward with redistricting. So today you have an order in front of you that's findings of fact regarding political boundaries of Van Zandt County, Texas, following publication of the 2020 census data, in order for redistricting of political boundaries. So y'all will be voting to actually move forward with the process for redistricting. Y'all can take that up now, or we can go through this. But the software is very sophisticated this time around, more so than what we did 10 years ago. So I'm just going to zip it. Obviously, the changes that need to be made here is precinct 2 needs to give a little bit to precinct 4. Precinct 3 needs to give a little bit to precinct 1. That can be accomplished either out in the county, but I know y'all are sensitive. Are y'all on a unit road system or not? No. So since you're not on a unit road system, you're very cognizant of road miles and which roads you're giving in. 10 years ago, when I started this process, I was here in one of y'all's neighboring counties, and I thought I had done a great job. I came in and gave them some little plans and some proposals, and there was a commissioner who had been on the commissioner's court about 40, 50 years. And so he led me down the path of where he was like, son, let me ask you a question. And I was like, oh, yes, sir. He's like, see this road right up here? And, he had me zoom in on it. And we went through this long process. And he was like, that road, you know where that road is? And I was like, well, kind of, because I'm from here, but, around here. But I know kind of the area, and I know the town that you're talking about. He said, did you know that I just spent $200,000 fixing that road up? And you just moved that road over to Commissioner Melton's precinct. And so now he's going to have a bunch of happy voters, and I'm not going to have any happy voters because he got a brand new road. I'm not giving up that road. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to give suggestions. I'm going to move it around how y'all want to do it. Same thing, I voted a commissioner's mother. I moved the commissioner's mother out of his precinct. And so then I had to go move her back in because she was in the audience and not too happy about not getting to vote for her son. So, I mean, I didn't come with the plan. I came to hear your suggestions, but it's real easy if you look at the proposals that we sent you showing what the assessment is. That's where you have to get. We can accomplish that wherever you want to. But if you're looking at the software up here, you will see a number in all of these squares. These are the actual US Census blocks. And so I can read the numbers out. Sometimes it's a little blurry. And maybe it will make them a little bigger.
I could turn the lights here off and leave these on if there's too much glare.
Yeah, would that help?
So that makes the numbers maybe a little bit bigger for you to see.
Well, I'll start out make a statement while we're doing this.
Yes, sir.
The precinct lines dividing on the county road is absolutely terrible. Because the reason why is because you have some of the people live on that road in one precinct, you have other people on the other side live in another precinct. Only one of us takes care of it. So the people that lives in the precinct that's not in the road, they feel like they have no representation as far as that road.
Right, I understand that. That's one of those things. Unfortunately, we didn't design the census block. So in most places, I will tell you, I do not know of a single county that I've done 10 years ago or this year where a county road's not the dividing line. I mean, as best we can, we try to make it like, you know, a major US highway or a farmer market road or something like that. But just the way the population growth is, between 3 up here has to give a large portion to 4. So where can that be accomplished?
Give a large.
Give to 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like if you come in, and you know, the other thing we got to be very cognizant about too is where your JP's offices are, because they're going to need to maintain their offices in their precinct. So we don't want to draw a JP. Maybe they're all spread out so far out in the county and other places that it doesn't matter. But sometimes when we come into the city, you know, there's just not a lot of population right here for 3 to give to.
And I believe that would be the issue with Judge Plaster. I don't think any of the other JPs it would affect, except precinct 2 right here in Canton.
So right here, we don't want to move your offices here in the courthouse.
No, it's
No,
one block
right
north.
So yeah, we'll just be very careful. I'm sure the courthouse is. What street are we looking for? I'm gonna turn the streets on so they're a little bit bigger, so you'll be able to see those as well.
Where is your office, sir, Judge?
East Rose.
Rose Street.
What, I'm sorry, what?
Rose.
A Rose?
Street.
Okay.
Groves.
On the north side of 64.
Is it in precinct 1?
I thought it was, yeah, I could be wrong.
It better not be.
I don't know, because they told me the annex was in precinct 1.
Should be.
Better
It's
not
not,
be.
it's not in precinct 2.
No, it may be 3.
That's what
That's
I'm
not-
thinking.
I didn't think that was legal.
Well,
It's from Van Zandt.
Yeah.
Free state.
yeah, appreciate.
It's always been 3.
3?
I think it's in 3.
Judge Daniels called that one time, started teaching, and nothing was ever changed.
Yeah, he wanted to get it moved back into precinct 2,
Yeah,
but
because they were
there was no
asking-
place to move it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Judge Daniels told me back when he was in office, Ricky.
So
Daniels
Eric, does
done
the-
Here's Grove Street right here. This is the courthouse. Here's East Road.
I think it's gonna be that first one.
This one right here. grows between Buffalo and Capitol Street.
Or is it the?
No, it's on the other
It's
side.
gonna
of
be
the
to the
road.
left, to the
It's gonna
right.
be right
there.
there. It's gonna be in precinct 1.
Right here.
Eric, does the JP office have to be in the precinct it serves? Not
Yeah,
all?
you have to hold court in your precinct.
Okay, well, we're breaking the law right now then.
We've been messing that up.
I mean, the good news, I
For a
mean,
long
not that
time.
it matters, but it's 0, 0, 0, 0. I mean, there's nobody that lives in any of this.
No.
That's right.
No.
But right now, it's in precinct 1. It should be in 2.
Should be in 2. In that first green spot, that green block,
This one right here,
connected to the yellow,
Right
right next
here.
to the yellow, no, sir, to the left.
Right
To
here.
the left, that first spot, can that be moved?
yeah, that's just 0. So,
I mean,
and they're just business streets down here with no, so we can move those however we
that
want.
way it would be official.
What block is precinct, what block is your court in now? Up there, but what block?
Kind of show me on, you can just kind of show me.
I don't,
I take it.
Yeah.
Between East Carroll and East Rose.
I
Okay,
can't
I
see
mean,
where
so
the
that's just
crap.
an easy fix,
Yeah.
then we'll just clean up their map.
I've talked about this block being right here, either the yellow or the.
We can just move them both, it doesn't matter, if nobody's in there.
Can we get some landmarks on this thing? No.
Right there, right where he's got his air.
Right
is the
here,
courthouse.
the lot.
That's the courthouse.
All right, that's the courthouse. All right, now where is the JP2 office from the courthouse?
It's the first
Right
big,
here,
the first big pink square.
Yeah, yeah.
Go up one
Right.
more,
right here.
one more, right there.
Okay.
Okay.
So the courthouse is in my precinct? I
Yeah.
have one corner of it. I got the
No,
whole thing.
her courthouse is in here. Her courthouse.
What about this one?
It's, all 4 of us touch it.
Where is?
Do we still have to have all 4 commissioners touching the courthouse?
That's right. That's by statute.
Right, are you saying it's right there?
Yes, sir.
It's right there at the very top, the very, where he's got the marker.
Okay,
Right there, because that's Grove Street.
all right.
So it's that block right there. is where the
It's that
annex is.
block, you're right.
That is-
Annex in the parking lot.
So precinct 2, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that up. So that it doesn't affect populations or do anything, but we'll just go right here on these city streets.
But that takes away precinct 3's touching the courthouse.
Yeah.
And your office is here.
I thought that was by statute. Each precinct had to touch the courthouse.
Oh, no,
That's not
no.
good.
I mean, I have commissioners that are nowhere near the courthouse.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Unless-
good, yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So this is your office
So
right
it's
here.
still, that's.
Yeah, you still gotta go with another one.
yeah.
At least one, that one. right
That
there.
red one there, you just said?
Yeah, you just got it
Okay.
right there.
That would be my.
And if you
office.
change them other 2 all the way down. to
I mean,
6.
we can,
Then that puts all offices in precinct 2.
because I guess green is coming down to touch the courthouse. You know, I mean, technically, this is just a little technicality here because is that 64?
Yes, sir.
Because 64 is a major roadway downtown. I mean, technically, you have an arm that goes straight to the courthouse. You can use the center line of the road to get to the courthouse. And I mean, we've had to do that even for JP's, where we kind of color coded it down the highway and then captured a little block. But I mean, I don't technically you still touch it because you're on 64.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just that. So you're not going to pick up population there. So where would, let's say, 3 give to 1 that would make the most sense for y'all?
3 give to 1.
Well, is it?
Rolling Oaks.
Yeah.
You know,
Take it right across the top.
Merger, is
I
it-
can't believe
We
it.
can run up the river and take it rolling up.
is it possible for me and you to fix that?
Well, we can see. Yeah.
Zoom out a little bit.
Okay,
Yes.
Isn't there a 2 and 3 on I-20, cleaning up that old commissioner precinct?
Well, that's
I'm just-
that's what they're fixing about to ask you.
Doesn't three come into one to get?
They want to fix.
See, go make it look.
right here.
No, one goes in three.
Yeah. Okay,
No, zoom out a little bit.
No, but, yeah.
okay.
Further out, further out, further out,
Okay.
further out.
There you go. Keep
This
going.
area right here.
Keep
Keep going.
going.
Keep going.
Now just zoom out a little bit. You're gonna see the two, see where the yellow crosses 20 there,
Mhm,
right there, and then the blue crosses 20 down here.
mhm.
Let's start out by switching those
Okay,
and see where we're at on population so we can straighten that mess up.
Yes, because when they file, we have a lot that,
so you have no JP or constable or any of you live right here?
No, sir.
Or down here?
No, sir.
Okay.
that'd be good if that started out. Thank you for that.
20 years.
Yes. Because the headache.
I don't know what is that gonna do to you, Susan?
Nothing.
I don't think.
Oh, she'll be in, she'll change Susan, but
Yeah.
she's a
Kenny
county.
White said it's not gonna matter.
Sure, will. Didn't she say after the point?
She is, but it's gonna put her in two.
But it's where it was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
That's where I was years ago, so.
So this would be a good time to move anybody that's talking about running against you out of your precinct.
Want to pair 'em up, Tom?
Do what?
Let's pair 'em up.
Yeah.
Put all that in three, Eric.
Yeah, because for me, it's not
I mean, because they get so confused.
Oh, I know. They
Where to vote, where to,
They call
you
her
know,
office every time.
Of course, you put all that down there too. Or you put it in three.
Yeah, he put that yellow in three, now you're gonna put that.
Now we're gonna put all that blue right there over at Virgil.
No,
Yeah. to get
well,
all
Virgil
that
doesn't need any more. He needs to get rid of something. I don't want to take it.
We're gonna have to shift it
He
down. on the
just
side.
did get rid of some. Cross 20. Okay, yeah. Does that look good?
We'll see what it does.
Now, what does that do to our number?
So now that looks like, if you look, two doesn't need to do anything now, because they're 0.52. So we can leave 2 alone with that change. Then it's 3 that now needs to give away to 1 and to 4.
Okay, what can we do? Chad,
If
help
we,
me out
if we
here.
give that 4,000 series from 64 and interstate back to 4, that brings him up.
We've got that area right there to work with.
Right here.
Yes, sir.
I ain't much in
That
there.
little blue that drops down right there. Below 20 there. We've got all that to work with. But
So let me show you up here,
Trying
it'll
to
show you
understand.
what we need to do now. So if you look up here at the top, 1 needs to get around maybe 600 people. It says 705, but 600 is just a good number to shoot for. And that would mean that 3 needs to get rid of 900. So we're looking at getting rid of about 800. 1 needs to get about 600 and 4 would need to get about 200, just to get you well below the 5%.
what's your idea, Chad?
Well,
How many people is in that little blue right there?
So
That's a win.
let me just make a suggestion.
Okay.
I know you don't like to split up county roads. 64 is a good dividing line, but I mean, there's population right in here where 1 could give to 4, and that gives more ability up in here for 3 to give this over to 4.
Give it over to 1.
Give it over to 1, I'm sorry. 3 to give over to 1, but there's still not gonna be 800 people in here, that's the problem. When you look at the census blocks, you're looking at a couple of hundred, maybe 200. There's a 95% 24 census block. I'll zoom in so y'all can see it. There's 94, 40, 24, 63. Not much. So you're looking at about 250 right in that area.
So if you went 859.
What is that census block right on the north side of 20 right there?
Right
Is it
here.
a- Yes, sir.
24, 96, 51, 167.
Hmm.
But see, when you start getting out, you know, those are large census blocks. I see how big that is. There's 67 right there. I mean, there's a tool here that says pending changes. So see, that already tells me that's 234. And it'll start showing you how big those numbers get.
Are those county roads at the top of your purple there, or is that
Yes.
private roads and subdivision?
That's County Road 3103.
Yeah, but underneath it there, what's actually in the census
It
block?
says private road. Private road.
That's Thompson, that's
7005.
Thompson Airport.
That's not an
So
airport.
precinct 1 needs to give the precinct 4 right now, because you said 2's good.
Precinct 3 needs to give to either precinct 1 or precinct 4.
Well, it's gonna be easier to give precinct 1. Right?
Well, if we highlight that gap along 859 using it,
Right
and
here.
get me up, can I give some off of 16 over to him?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
You can move 3 to 1, and then 1 could give to
to 4.
Yes.
4.
Yes, that's what we'd have to do.
I mean, you could do that now, like here, you know, I don't know where you don't want to do that, but give some more to 4 below this. And then
Yeah.
you give 4 right, then you know what you're working with.
It's about right, just redone Tank Farm Road.
Okay, so we need to start giving 4 a little bit.
Yeah, what's that brand new road? Then I'll just move
Yeah,
it
I
on.
just.
over.
Brand new road over
That's always my suggestion, right? That makes me real popular.
Well, let's go back. We had to give precinct 1 some last time. So we'll take back some
No,
that we
precinct
got.
1 took,
Yeah, that's what it said,
Some-
4 gave to 1, I got that 4,000 series down there.
Yeah,
That
4
confuses
gives 1.
everybody.
Yeah, so
Right
that's where
here.
you need to start. Well, everything that's below 20 there is what they had to move last time. That's south of 20.
Okay.
And nobody knows how to move back.
to the, started, from left. You started to the left, and then you go to the right. to get-
Right here.
No, that's not the left. Left's far up there by the.
There you go, start right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay, so you're giving up yourself touching the courthouse, right?
Yeah, but we can go down 16 to get, 64 to get him.
Yeah.
We can go down 64 to get him there.
Okay. So about 200,
Well, I'd say from 64 over to 20, whatever's in that area.
well, this whole area is way too many people, but right here,
Yeah, just right
I
there.
can give.
There ain't much in there.
So there's 59 people right there.
What's that little, yeah, right there.
So that would do it. That makes the dividing line 1335. There's got a number. 13. No, it's 1255.
Well, that's a state road. That's great.
State road.
That'd be good.
Then it goes down to, this road is County Road 4123 that I guess comes into town.
Yeah.
That would be the dividing line.
That work?
Well,
That's
but
1255 all the way into town, ain't it? Where's it at?
We need to go all the way to 64 and cut off the distance there or something, because that doesn't leave us any way to get into that property. Let's drive it all the way into town and then back out. We don't want to do that. It's waste.
Well, there's hundreds of voters right here.
Okay, well, cut some of them back. I mean,
What do you mean? No way to get into the property.
well, you have to go all the way down 64 on past where we are and then come back. Go down 60, you see going down 64, then you got to get nearly all the way to downtown before you can go back into that other property.
I can't make
Well,
that,
there's
down that
nothing, I
map
mean-
is too small
Yeah.
from here.
What's in there, Tim? I mean, no roads in there.
Well,
Other than a couple.
it's
That's what I'm trying to figure out
time.
where
It's
you're
time.
at.
I don't want to.
You know that little bitty sliver out there on 64 along First Monday? Can you blow that up where all them colors come together at over here? Yeah, that area.
I don't understand
So you
what
see what we're looking at.
From our county going, we have to go all the way down 64, nearly into downtown before we can come back and go to the stuff that's there. Go back to that
Well,
picture.
Tim, you can drive through another precinct.
You're on 64
Well-
right there, and then that's just Dog Alley on that bottom corner, ain't it?
Huh? Yeah.
So you have all now,
Well, I said we did. It doesn't show that on that map.
but y'all have always.
We've always maintained it.
Yeah, right. I'm on the other side of Dog Alley is where I'm at. That's where the pavilions are.
Where's Dog Alley?
That's what I thought.
No,
Rick
it's
said.
on the south side of the
No,
store.
Dog Alex in the green.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've always had that anyway, Kim.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah, I
want,
was gonna say, Tim's
you'd
on-
want to move that.
That's
Can
Dog
you
Alley
move that
there.
little pink right there? To-
This one?
Yeah.
I think,
There you
yeah,
go.
that's Dog Alley.
Nice contained.
Well, I mean, there's
Is that what you're
zero
talking
people
about?
in there.
Is that what you're talking about, Tim?
No, I'm coming all the way back down 64, make that cutoff pretty close across there. We're gonna have to go miles out of our way. It's where that maps things up there, you can't see it.
Confused.
What about the Colfax side? People there?
How bad would it be to be a fan of Commissioner one?
You could do part of it. You couldn't do all of it.
Band's all the way out here, right?
Yeah, it's on the other end of the pink.
Which is closer to I-20.
You got that list.
Huh?
That you can show them what you want.
I can see it. No, we're not gonna be there. It seems.
Because the whole city, it looks like a van is already in precinct for the city limit.
Yeah.
boundary.
It currently is.
Yeah, so you're just picking up, you know, areas around it if you come out.
So if we pick
No,
up,
actually, my comment was give a ban to Commissioner one.
I don't want to do that.
would there be enough room in that Colfax area to make that population up?
Right here.
No.
No, Colfax, that's. You got to zoom out a little bit. there.
And they go down 16.
Right here.
See, 16 right there, that dividing line went, originally, our precinct went from 64 down to 16 over to 20. And then we had to give from there back toward the courthouse is what we had to give away on the last time it was revamped. So I'd like some of that property to come back.
Well, I mean, right here, I'll just tell you, see where it says Van Zandt County Road 1309? Right there,
No, I don't see that.
it's right here where I'm circling.
What does?
Yeah,
County Road 4418. If you take that block, and that block, you're done.
That'll be fine.
Let's do it. What,
how much population is Yeah, the pink area is south of 20.
274. I mean, that area right there, well, let me get this little zero right here.
We'll go back and shift the cat back.
I didn't take it, no. Until I click that green check, it'll just stay red like that. And so then once you check it, you'll see that his precinct 4's number will probably go down below 1%.
That's good. Let's try that.
That's fine.
2.28.
Okay.
Oh, I want to go back to the switch that I.
Okay, let's work on this right now
All right.
and get this, and then we'll.
So now you're looking, see, it's about the 900 people between 3 and 1 somewhere that have to be done.
Well, we're going to have to start right there. at that little-
Okay.
Well, we need
Marco's got
to,
it.
yeah, I've got my precinct map out here. You know, I'm not gonna take in 15 miles of road on that switch. I'm not gonna take in, because most of these roads are in the worst shape that they could ever be. And I'm just not gonna do that switch.
The one that.
The
Up
yeah,
there
the one, the
where
Myrtle
20?
Springs, yeah, the Myrtle Springs switch.
Where we evened it up on 20.
Right.
How many miles of road is in the Myrtle Springs?
One, well, not very many, 20 at 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all small, less than a mile.
Eric, have you ever seen
Well,
one down the
2,
road?
3, 4,
Have
5,
you ever
6,
seen it
7,
come down
8,
roads?
9, 10.
Yeah.
Be 10 roads.
Well, if we're gonna work on balancing out the roads, then give Colfax back to Tim, give me Van, and then he can take some from Virgil and we get road balance too.
I don't want to give up.
Scott done it. I know Scott done it.
See, that's,
I mean, Branch Lane don't
Well,
claim.
Van Dog
Do what?
Van Dog house.
And you own half of them? Not anymore.
That's Edgewood.
It's Edgewood, it's in precinct 1.
He's got to have Edgewood.
You need to move people over from 3 to 1.
But that one won't help you. That's already in one. Edgewood's already in
Green,
one.
blue has to go to Kate.
That's what we're going to, but,
That follows 19 more.
Where they at? I thought we were in the trade market.
Yeah, that would probably
well, I'm taking you to city. I had Myrtle.
Yeah.
Look, wins.
I don't even have wins. He has wins. There's wins.
those are all roads that were precinct 2 roads, Virgil.
What's that?
All those roads that are south of 20, they're all 2 numbers.
They're all 2 numbers. Well, that happened way before I even become commissioner.
No, it happened 10 years ago.
No, that was like that 10 years ago. We didn't change that 10 years ago. We didn't change what I have 10 years ago. We changed 10 years ago, precinct 4 and precinct 2 changed roads.
Is the city
Down
one
19.
census block or cities broke into census block?
Oh, cities are census block.
When Holland Road was taken.
Like if you go down here,
That
When
was,
they took in the Holland.
Holland Road, that's way
That was
before I
way-
was,
yeah,
that's
I was gonna
years
say.
ago.
I've been there.
see, all of these are. little
40
census
years ago.
blocks.
So you could take census
25,
blocks from the
30
city
years
and stick it
ago.
in different precincts.
It happened
Oh,
right
yeah.
before we got,
Yeah.
and it was like 20.
The problem is y'all 2 are perfect now. And I know that's got to be back between 2 and 3. But there's not any that blue that have any census blocks in the city to give away.
I was just wondering if we could shave part of Van, not all of Van, and then give him Colfax back and balance it out.
I don't want to do that. I'm giving you back what, part of what you.
Yeah, the part where I built the new road.
Taking
But I'll let you have it all anyway.
First of all,
So 20, yeah.
first of all, who has to go?
Since everything was
Who has to give what? If you start out
From the very beginning,
Yeah.
from the very
from the
beginning.
very beginning, who has to?
He
give
said
what?
two, from the very beginning, Eric, from the very beginning, you said two was gonna need to give to four some, right?
Right.
And then one would need to,
If you're just looking at solely the numbers,
Yes.
3 is over by 827. 1 is under by 705. So the closest population is 3's got to give to 1 somewhere. Because that's 827 to 705, right? I mean, literally 4 to 2 needs to give maybe 100, 150 people.
I can do that. I need to give that to four.
4 needs to, 2 needs to give to 4, about 150.
I can do that easily, just down Highway 19. If you come down,
Well, I mean, we can't,
Now,
I'm
keep in mind, I'm
a
right
different
here.
map
I
now
don't wanna
because
take
we've
in a
made
lot
too
of
many
these
changes.
I was gonna say, let's make a suggestion, Don. Let's go ahead and finish where we're at, and this will be proposition 1, or whatever you wanna name it, on balancing this out now, because I'm telling you, we're not ever all gonna agree on this bill. We're gonna leave out of here, with the majority rule, and we'll have to figure it out. So
I mean,
this,
y'all can come up with 4 or 5 proposals that y'all want to look at, like however y'all want to do it.
that's what I say. So for right now, to finish this map, let's move that blue, some of that blue over to Chad and get that balance, and that'd be the
And that'd
first
be-
proposition,
okay.
Or do you want
our
the
first
first,
proposal.
do you want the first proposition to be kind of along Mr. Lentz's, putting it back on the original boundaries?
But we'll do that in a
And then the
minute.
next
Well,
proposal
that's
can
what
be
we're
a
doing right
mid-use
now.
system.
So
Yeah.
if you
That's
look
what we've
around
been doing right now. So
859
let's finish
south
this
of
one.
Edgewood,
That direction.
859 south of Edgewood.
Correct.
That's where the bulk of the population is that would have to go.
Look at that right now.
So I mean, we'd have, if we started up here around Edgewood, and just started cleaning that up, that's going to 1.
Like Don said, using 859 for a boundary instead of 19.
That's right.
I'm going to have the same argument Virgil's got. That's a lot of roads to take on.
yeah, yes, you do.
This is just a proposition.
That's about where you would have to go.
I think that's that.
It's on votes with 710 people.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
So I mean, if you move that, I can move it right, I can move one change right back. I'll just show you what that does to the numbers. So then your largest would be 3 at 157. Your smallest would be 1 at negative 1.81. And then that gives you a deviation of 3.3. So you're well below the 5%.
What if you went the other way? Well, you've got your bottom line at, or if you made that your top line and dropped on down the interstate?
Start down there, yes, sir, start down there
Okay.
and go north.
Because that's mostly private roads in that area.
Yes, sir.
So are you getting rid of the city of Canton?
Well, why don't you start north of the interstate first and see what it does, then we'll see if we can pick that bottom block up. So that subdivision behind the country club over there, that's pretty high population.
So that takes you, let me do this.
You're taking the subdivision by the airport.
I'll take you that subdivision of Tompkins,
Of whose? Thompson?
the airport.
you get to Senator. You got that road fixed for me.
Oh, yeah,
That's the best road you've ever seen.
best road in my precinct.
Hey, I just redone Tank Farm Road. I had to give it up. And I took a real.
So that's
Y'all didn't think it's-
796 right there,
Do what?
796. So that
Pull out a
was,
little bit, please.
Yeah, where'd you stop the top at?
I followed, it has to follow a census block line,
Sure.
so we're going down, is this county, we're going up from 19, County Road 3105, turning down County Road 3110 to 3104, and it curves around and meets 30, then 859.
Mhm.
Now, if you take that very top census block off, what do you get?
Too low, 223 people come out of there.
So 223 come out, which is how much too low?
230 too low.
So we need 230 more people.
But see, Chad, you can leave all that road, all that 3104 and everything, you can leave that in me. I'll take care of the road.
So I'll just have them two,
You
them
just
three
have the
dead
people.
end offshoots.
Yes, sir.
You'll have County Road 3119, County Road 3106, and County Road 3122.
Where we at first?
That's all little short roads over all night. You won't pick up very many roads. You leave 3110 on me, 3104 on me.
So I'm just taking them three dead end roads, and then you got the Tompkins Airport, which is all private, and you got that subdivision, which is all city of Canton.
Yes. And I just redid Thompson Airport.
What kind of evenings? I just redone Tank Farm, Bert, and Kim got it.
So
Good.
that gets you down to 2.10% that change.
Okay, is that gonna be Proposition 1 then?
Yeah, I already have it up there called
Okay.
Prop 1.
So let's
Yeah,
go to
print that
Proposition
out.
2.
Can you print that out?
Yeah. and so-
No, what I can do is zoom in and take snapshots of that, and then do y'all have 911 coordinating or GIS?
No.
Okay, so I can send the shape file directly to the judge, and then y'all can get it, printed out on those bigger maps that you can look at. So I'm gonna save this, right? Is that what y'all wanna do?
Okay, so doing that right there, how many people total are we moving around for?
Well, because y'all did that flip flop at Myrtle Springs with that, so you've got to move all of those. So you're just gonna have to probably identify that election block north of 20 and south of 20, and then make those will all have to change on the road card.
Exactly, right, and
And
that's
then you'll
not,
have
that's
to
where I
make
can
And you don't have to do that till the 31st, and you see the new elections
I
advisory.
did, I was just.
So what we'll do, just so you know, this is what I've been telling every elections person. Once they set their boundaries next week, then we're gonna start working on the voting districts to get that matched up.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not waiting until December 31st, but if I can get past the 13th, then we're gonna start working with our voting clerks, and then they'll enter a supplemental order about the BTDs.
okay.
So I'm saving this, that's what we all said, right? So what I do is I came in with two proposals, so I'm gonna save a third one, just so I'll always have a clean copy, in case y'all wanna move on to a third.
Which hope when we vote next week, it needs to be on one of the propositions. Not comment, well, I like this, but we need to move. Whatever we're gonna move, we need to move right now in this meeting here. So that when we get to next week, we're voting on, okay, this proposal 1, 2, or 3.
on,
And I mean, I will tell you, I've had like one county commissioner call me and said, we made an error, there's one road that, you know, Commissioner 1 and Commissioner 3, they'll call me on the phone and say, make that switch to proposal 2 real quick. I can do that, and that is proposal 2. So there's been some little errors that, I mean, you just can't sit while you're doing here. And then proposal 2. Yes.
One of these.
Are we gonna put these proposals on the webpage?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you
I mean, it's up to you. I was gonna ask you to give them to me in a PDF format. I need to put it on the webpage.
So I will tell you, just warning you, PDF format, you cannot read a single row because they're so tiny. But I mean, yes, the overall look can be PDF very simply. I'll just remove the. Okay, Van Zandt proposal 2. Here we go. This is how it looks today. No, I haven't touched anything with this one.
Okay.
Do this and you want to try to go back
Yeah.
to the original precinct lines?
that's right. I want to go start from the original plat that you had up there.
Okay,
That-
this is
That's
it.
it.
That's okay.
This is
What-
existing.
What I want to do is I want to give precinct 4 part of Kent, which
Okay,
will even me up.
okay.
And I won't be taking any more county roads.
So you just want to start right here at these.
I want
slots?
to, yes, I want to start back. Where is 243? Go back to 243.
It's south of there.
It's, yeah, you go.
Right there, right
Okay.
there.
I want to go down 243 and that little, right there, that little road that cuts into 198, the first one. No,
16.
no, back,
Right
right
here.
there, yeah, that, all
I
right.
got it, but I gotta, what
Okay.
I'm gonna do is say that 4, and then year 2, giving away.
Good.
So this block right here,
That block, and I want to go up to, the next block. The next block.
I just wanna put it over here so we
Yeah.
can see the numbers.
Right,
So you're looking at this one where it says change in population right
good,
here.
right
It
there,
says 16 people.
good.
The next one's gonna say
All right.
43.
That one,
The next one's.
That
gonna
one?
say- So you're up to 125.
the next one,
15.
and that one right there. Now, where does that put us?
You still need to give away probably these 3 blocks right here.
All right, done.
That gets 1. Yeah, that gets probably right where you would need. to-
So what if you give him others them to square it up? Right,
Yeah, it'll be fine.
right there.
Yeah,
I don't care, yeah, that's fine.
And then that goes to.
so if I click that, it'll show you what it would look like. And then, so that makes 3 off by 22 people.
For 198, you put it together, so.
I've got a little alley or road that cuts across right
Yeah.
there, private or whatever. It's not identified.
What is that, the corner of what?
That's
243.
243, 64.
8 and 243.
Yeah,
is a little
okay.
triangle.
Yeah,
And then that just took him all the way up and cornered him right there.
right.
So that makes 4 is under only by 99 people, 0.67. 2 lost 22 people, that's 0.14. So then that still creates a roughly 650 to 700 people up here from 1 to 3.
3 to 1.
Sorry, you're right. And we can do the same thing we did on the
So-
other map and go right up that, just like y'all did.
That also taken Sandra's JP precinct and moving that back in, so it's, she's Amber.
Oh, I need to do that. the precinct 2, just make
Yeah.
that little fix.
We're gonna fix that along.
That's not gonna change any numbers.
No, that only have to be on all your proposals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for reminding me that. 2 is the target, it's coming from 3,
Coming,
isn't that what we did
Yes, sir.
last time? And then 1 gave away that lot. There, that's what we did last time, which doesn't change any of the numbers, because all those are 0. What would y'all want to do, the same thing you did on the other one or not?
You're talking about on 20?
between 3 and 1.
The-
3 and DB, 3, yeah, 3 and
Yeah.
1.
Well, he won't have to take as many this time.
No,
I gave back that other portion.
Yeah, I'm still holding that corner around there at Trenton Farm Road.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, you just have to, or tell them where you want to start. Chad, it's a proposal.
Go ahead and go back to what we've done last time, and we may not have to go as far north. No, that wasn't it last time. You
No.
start at 20 and go north.
Then you start at 64.
Yeah, you're 64 now, you need to start at 20.
I gotta get rid of all these.
And see where that got you at before you're going any further north.
So that's it. If you see your numbers up here.
I can't read nothing there. I'm trying to
It's
very
negative
quick.
95 for precinct 1.95 to 3 is now over by 1.77. So if you add those two together, that gives you 2.7. Is that right? Does that mean my math right?
So that would be within the balance range.
Yeah, you're under the 5%.
Okay, so what does that have me actually taking in? That's Thompson Airport.
Let me, I didn't turn the roads on the same that I did over there where you have to read them.
What's that boundary?
859 on
859.
the west. I don't know what's on the north.
That's what I was wondering. What is on the north?
Just only taking in that,
County Road 3103.
Okay, 3103.
And you can leave it on me. Okay,
okay, and then that does me taking in that one we had the fuss over a while back that we pulled the old map up on. That's south of the Thompson Airport, ain't it?
what's that now?
That road that we had to pull the old map on.
Oh, yeah, you'd be taking in Thompson Airport and everything south of that. Yeah, you'd be taking in that road.
So that gets you,
That's a dirt road.
there's private roads in there, but there's County Road 3119,
Which you just redone. Right,
3122, 3121, and that's it. No, 3120 down here.
Yes, those are all little short roads. They're not real good roads, but they're short. Not much to them.
half a mile to a mile.
No, not even a mile.
Okay.
And Country Club Drive, I'm sure that's a private road.
Private city.
It's city.
It's city.
Country, oh, I don't know. It could be, okay.
Either way, it's not a
Is
county.
it the city single member districts for, their elections, or are they at large? Their city council?
What's that
No,
one-
they are at large.
Yeah.
What's that one other little blue spot between 859 and
Right
Interstate
here?
20? Yeah, what's that?
There's just zero in there, but I'm keeping that to keep it connected here
Okay.
to his precinct. There's no one in there. See how it says zeros?
That's all that Henry Lewis big lot between 859 and the country club.
There's
Yeah,
some kind of
that's
store right here. Store, warehouse, something.
Yes. Yes,
That's country.
warehouses.
Then the
Usually when
hospital
you start
across the
seeing
street.
like white dotted lines, it's gonna be some kind of elementary school warehouse. Yeah.
Country club, that's the elementary.
We're balanced. We're close enough to balance right there. Right? You said we're within 2%.
That one would work right there, wouldn't it, Eric?
Yes, sir. No, you're 1.77 and 0.95. So when you add those two together, that's point. I'm bad at that. Point 2.32 or 2.42.
So we're well below 5% off,
Yes.
which gets us within acceptable range.
And then,
I was gonna do the math.
So that's proposition.
so we can say that and then figure it one other way real quick, where I take in Marble Springs, Virgil can, I'll keep what I got down south of 20, but Marble Springs is a big mess, not only on me, but it's also on the JPs and stuff. So I'll,
2.72. It's what this one is.
Okay.
So you're gonna go to the third option, keep this one.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
this one and go.
Yes, sir.
That's still keep y'all divided though on the old Kaufman.
Mhm.
Well, we can fix that. We can, what I'm fixing to do, taking in Marble Springs, and then all we have to do is, all we'd have to do is get Virgil to take all of Old Kaufman instead of splitting it like we do.
Not good.
You take care of it anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's a nightmare.
Remember, first thing, boss, is move precinct 2 around, get that JP over.
But he's not gonna change that.
So Eric, are you on time front? Are you on?
No, not yet.
Okay,
I'll let you know.
okay.
Y'all are making such good progress, and I don't want to tell you what that is, because when I do that to another one, we get 2 more hours.
Oh.
So, I think y'all are making good progress, so I'm not gonna tell y'all I gotta be out of here by.
Well, we got another meeting in this.
Okay, so what I wanna do is go down here and make that one change, just so
It's
I
going
can.
back to the
The
original
JP right back here.
Can you start with the last map we finished with? It's gonna be the easiest.
Sure. I can start there.
If you'll start there, because all we gotta do is make one little change at Marble Springs and see where we're at. If you can start with where we wound up on that proposal too.
We can do that, but I'll tell you up front, I've done lots of work in Myrtle Springs. I don't want to give those roads up. But we can do
So what I'm
Proposition
gonna
3.
call that is Van Zant Proposal 2A.
Okay,
So you're going off of an existing plan. So I need to go to Van Zandt 2, I can find Van Zandt 2. And then we go over here, this is the one y'all just did, copy it. And I'm gonna move it up to 2A. Okay,
that little yellow part that sticks up above 20 right there?
right here.
Yes, sir. Put all that in through. This is gonna help even our miles up on the roads too.
So these are on-off exit ramps typically right in here.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, I can just move those just for easy sake. There's no population in there, just to make the line look clean.
Yes, sir.
That gets rid of too many people.
Okay, but
That's
that's
gonna
good.
get rid of 562 people, so I'll move it.
That throws it all off. Huh?
Now you need to get rid of 826 people, 2.
Okay. All right, one more thing. That's good.
Well, how many is in that blue section that drops down?
He won't take it.
I
That's
can't,
the one we already.
that's 15 more miles worth. Yeah, that's Old Holland, that's rest of Kaufman, Old Kaufman, 2150, 2136, 2135, 2134, 42, 20, 18, 08, 32, and 13. That's
When we
15
flip
miles
flop
worth
those
of
earlier,
county
that's
road.
about an even swap right there. You know, when we flip flop this for that, you know, that really had
And
no
that's the way
change.
it
But
is.
it cleaned
It
up,
was a flip flop, yeah.
but it cleaned up the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, when you were asking for numbers though, I was just saying
Yeah.
that flip flop was just.
Yeah.
Even for even, just
Yes.
about.
There's more
And-
candidate.
Mhm.
There's a population.
The flip flop though is easier for the voters.
Much easier.
Yeah.
Much.
And there's not enough in here for
Yeah.
some of
Huh?
Yep, I agree. We got two issues. We got voters and we got roads.
That's right.
And as you see, the roads supersede the voters. I mean, I'm being honest.
Not necessarily.
Why?
Should it?
Well, it shouldn't.
That's what I say.
Oh, I know, but
Oh,
that's
you're
what.
saying it does. You're saying it does.
Yeah. I mean, that's what y'all are seeing,
I'm
isn't
just
it?
flipping it the way, that first one that we did,
As a public
what it
chair,
used to
I
be.
like to flip. I know
It's what
Virgil
it
doesn't
is.
like to flip because it impacts his road.
That's correct. But far as a clean boundary line, I mean, I've always wondered, did everybody get drunk and draw the
Now,
lines?
the air commissioner down there. in the
Yeah,
lower
you had a
blue,
commissioner over there by me that ran on the wrong precinct. They
Yeah.
ran on precinct 3, but they really lived in precinct 2.
Right.
So then they moved the line because of that,
Yeah,
is what
To
happened.
keep some, an incumbent.
to keep an incumbent
Correct.
in that precinct.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, y'all are teaching me the history here.
If we're
This is what I inherited when I
Yeah.
came in
If
today.
we're just building a proposition, let's go ahead and make that swap back to fix it for the voters. It's a proposition.
We did, it's in
Oh,
one.
did, it's in
It's
one.
Proposition
Okay.
one.
Proposition one's already there. We did that in Proposition one, Chad.
So what do you want to do now?
Well, to me, it doesn't matter about the lines, it's each individual getting to vote and where they need to vote. I mean, to me, it's all about equal voting, and regardless of where the line's in, it's gonna be equal voting.
Well, it is equal voting.
I mean,
but
you're
it's
just trying
confusion.
to, well, it could be confusing, but they've been voting it for 10 years. I mean,
that's true.
everybody knows where to vote.
Yeah, with lots of headaches.
Well,
Well, I'm not arguing, I'm just telling you what they're saying, Virgil. I see their
I
point.
agree with that, 'cause we do get calls.
So what I did is turned on your voting
Not-
district. What I did is just turned on where your voting districts are, right? So whatever this is voting district. Probably drowned it out by a road somewhere, but there's one right here that encompasses that. And I guess these people vote all the way in town over here at this.
We do, right back here.
So what would happen is this group of voters would either have to vote this yellow, they'll either vote in town, or they could be moved to the voting box up here at Will's Point, because there's one right there. And then these voters right here would vote at whatever this polling place is.
But it
I see what you're-
but it throws the roads off.
15 miles worth of road.
Well, no, you're forgetting to take in what I'm picking up in Murray Springs. There's
Well,
roads there too.
Very few,
Oh.
and they're small.
There's probably 10 miles, there's a good 10 miles road.
I don't know, there's not 10 miles in there.
I just turned that orange up so y'all can see where your voting boundaries are. And I can turn it back off.
So what is your suggestion, Eric? You got, I mean, one's got that change from Myrtle to there. I hear that's not gonna fly.
Well, it might.
Well, it's going to depend on the vote, but I'm against it. You know, it's going to be on the vote. I'm not against, I'm against it.
No, I mean, I'm not here to
Yeah,
impose, and as long as we are in compliance.
Right.
And I mean, y'all, I mean, just so y'all know, the other interesting thing here is, you know, a lot of my East Texas counties, I have to be very careful with minority precincts. Y'all didn't have a minority precinct 10 years ago. Precinct 1, 83% Anglo. Precinct 2, 89% Anglo. Precinct 3, 83% Anglo. Precinct 4, 85% Anglo, with a total county population of 85% Anglo. Right, y'all are now at 79% Anglo, but there's not enough, and the growth that you had is in the Hispanic population. You had 4,800 Hispanic population last time. Now you have 7,000 population of Hispanics. The other thing where you see significant growth, and this is everywhere in East Texas, the multi-race, people who identify as more than 2 races. Y'all only had 656 people identify that way 10 years ago by the US Census. Now you have 2,200 people that identify as multi-race. So, I mean, now you don't know what that multi-race could be. I use my mother-in-law as an example. She's half one thing and half another. You know, she's half Swedish, but she's also half Lebanese. So technically she could be someone that would identify as multi-race. And I asked her how she filled out her census card because I was curious. She said, I just filled out England, because she looks more like the Swedish side of her family than her father, who's Lebanese. But I mean, technically, she could be one of those people that's checking that box differently. We just don't know what that is. But those are the 2 largest areas of growth that I have seen in East Texas, was Hispanic and multi-race. Because your Black population 10 years ago was 1,403. It's 1,517. Your white population, 45,087, now it's 47,9. So
we don't have to consider that.
you don't have to consider those things, but I was just telling you as part of that, when you're asking me, what do you think? Sometimes I have to jump in and say, we can't move 99% white population into the minority population and dilute it.
Yeah.
But I'm not having to take those considerations. And I'm not hearing that we're moving historical communities, like dividing up, something that has always been together with what we've done, either in proposal 1 or proposal 2.
Does anybody else want to build another proposal?
Actually, I have a question, and if I have to build it, what does our county look like with all 4 commission precincts divided either on Interstate 20 or Highway 9?
Back to the original precinct.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's get a look at that for the next proposal.
Sure.
So we got 1, 2, and 2A.
So we're saving this one as it is? Is that
We
the?
didn't even
No,
do
there's no need. There's no need. There's no need. You just drop 2A.
Is that proposal to keep my office in?
Yes, I moved it while you were gone.
Yeah,
I moved it back.
Yeah, he put it.
So what proposal is this one we're looking at right now?
Proposals 1 and
This
2
is 2A,
changed.
that he asked me just to go make that flip flop switch, but when we figured out it's 560.
Wouldn't go.
You
In the first.
Yeah. You're number 1
No
today.
matter what. We're gonna be fixing on all proposals.
So plan 3 will be, if that's what y'all are interested in doing, is making the dividing line I-20.
You're still gonna have to,
19 and I-20.
Yeah.
So you're gonna push some stuff around. I know the numbers kind of won't balance, but there's some back, so I don't see it happening.
this is JP 2 and 2. That puts you in 2 on this one for sure. Sir, while you're highlighting color, and I'm gonna step out, I'll be right back.
So this portion in town, I'm giving all that away, right?
There's nothing.
Oh, no.
I wish they could.
I wish we could some kind of consensus. That's okay.
There's one more down low.
Yeah. There was.
That's right here. Numbers are way. Precinct 1 would be way too small. Number 1.
Yeah.
So it's making 19, 20 around.
Mhm.
once y'all get Edgewood away,
Oh, you have to leave that.
You
You
gotta
have to
leave
leave that.
that.
Leave that there for a minute, but you're gonna end up leaving the van to.
Yeah, if you truly cut it by 20, you want to take Edgewood away.
Yeah, all of that below 20 will go back to me.
That's right. But all the van are being on.
Are those numbered for one?
That area, there's number for 4.
Oh, they are.
We had them the last census, they took them away.
Last time it was a big deal to have all 4 touching the courthouse. Or that was big. They had to bring that long dog leg up.
and why were they doing that? Were there all JP offices in here? Why
No.
were-
Oh, why that was.
They
big.
thought they had to. Charles and they'll do.
It was, the JP office, were in the courthouse some 30-odd years ago.
No, but this
Two of them were.
This was
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I know,
Charlotte was
but from
doing
the
it.
standpoint of the courthouse, we need
It is gonna change it from
and all the
van.
precincts touching each door.
They were just thinking from before with the JPs were here.
That was. That was before I had any Republicans in the courthouse too.
We don't have to have part of our precinct in the courthouse to have an office here,
No,
No,
no.
do we? No, so different.
But if you
No,
do,
so-
even if you
I do like
did,
to
you
stand
could
in
use
my
Highway
corner.
19.
Yes,
To do what?
Yes, sir. 19 and 64.
It's a state highway.
I think we need to get a bigger screen.
We're supposed to have one right here.
That whole wall back there. you know.
You don't have that deal with precincts wanting to go into different counties. I've heard about other places. What, go from one county to another county.
It wasn't a free state of Van Zandt.
We'll be waiting.
Okay.
So 4 is under by
13.
21, 2017 people, if you just follow that boundary.
What's everybody else like?
everybody else is fine.
No, because, I mean, let's leave Edgewood as it is. So 1 is over by 990 people, 2 is over by 409 people, and 3 is over by 619 people.
You basically need to start at Interstate 20 and work your way up through land to balance it out. And that's still gonna put us back. Swing through land through Canton, to balance it out. Take around cities.
Say it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that leaves
Oh, yes.
Edgewood, still where it's at. It's not a true divider because of that, but, I mean, what that's gonna do is throw three into the negative, you know.
Well, since I'm asking for this map.
Sure.
Throw Edgewood in the three, so I can at least have everybody on it for long-term history.
Sure, but build it how you want it. It's a proposal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can't use this proposal.
Yeah, it won't be a proposal, but he's wanting to just look at the,
Okay.
are you wanting to look at the numbers?
Well, I don't get this opportunity from county chairman. We don't have this advantage with the maps, but if they build a map for us and save a map, we'll get this out, these numbers.
Right, this now, if you did Edgewood that way, 3 is over by 2,071 people, and 4 is under by 2,017 people, and then this discrepancy is 400.
I think in 10 years, we'll come back and look at this map, whether I'm chairman or not, or the commissioners are, to actually compare our lines against the action sign. This projection map like this.
Yeah, I can say that I can send it to the judge, he wants to keep it, just to see what happens.
Okay, so we got proposal 1, proposal 2,
That's it.
and that's all we got. So,
Proposal 2A, I scrapped. because
yeah,
that
2A wasn't going
That
on,
was requiring that same flip flop that you've already done.
which is in
Yeah.
proposal 1.
So I'll just take y'all back so y'all can see it.
Yeah,
I mean, that only takes 1 second. So if we go back to, Van Zant proposal 1, here's what that looked like.
And proposal 1 worked, right?
Yes, that is your largest now is precinct 3 with that flip flop switch or whatever y'all want to call that. 99.99%, which means that 3 was over by 148. And then 1 was under by 123. So that was a deviation of 2 point.
That's where you took some of,
0.99 plus.
you took some of,
What I say it was
But not-
1.23.
Not bad, so we're okay.
you took some of 3.
I took some of 3.
2.22%
Okay.
deviation. of
Did it blow that up around Kent a little bit, where the changes are all at?
Right here, the north side.
There, so we can see all the changes in one screen. You're a little bigger.
Well,
Zoom out a little.
you got to get Colfax, not Colfax, Myrtle Springs.
All right, so that's where our changes actually occurred, except for that down there where Tank Farm Road went to 4.
Right here.
Yeah.
This here. So
But
you
that
did
also
1,
had
2,
them.
3 blocks. Plus those changes.
Myrtle,
Then you went out
Myrtle
here
and
and you did the
Yeah,
flip flop.
Go back to where you were showing it, is there a little collar one up there that's not?
Hmm.
Maybe not, I can't tell. Okay, that's fine.
Right
That's
here.
okay. Yeah, I just couldn't tell if there's collar one, no, but it is, that's fine.
Okay, that's proposal 1.
That's proposal 1, and it was 2.22. And then here's proposal 2.
Which leaves y'all separate.
Proposal 2 basically just has precinct 4 taken.
Well, I think it's pretty much as proposal 1 with the exception of Myrtle Springs and Old Holland,
Rollins Road.
pretty much the same for you, isn't it? Shell?
No, I like, as far as me, I like this one better. Because it has me taking in less of 3 and less road mileage. And I keep that new road I just built down there at Tank Farm.
Come on, man.
And that's where Tim took in over the 198.
Yeah, just some stuff that's just no roads, just people. It's all in town.
It's all in town.
Right in here, yes, it was right here.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked it better when me and Tim and
It was
And
this
Keith
little
worked
key.
it that way.
Yeah, it was that part right there.
Yeah.
198.
Yeah, he took that and then I kept mine out yonder and I took a smaller piece just from Thompson Airport down.
Could you blow that up just a little bit there? Yeah, that's, I like that.
It was what I was calling a foot right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This foot, and then we went north right here to this portion.
But I kept that new road I just built. That's an old gentleman
That's
said one
it.
time.
Over here, these 1, 2, 3s that we took a while ago didn't go anywhere. That's the
So that's
So
just done
proposal
that
1 and proposal 2, I'll send you the shape file so you can print, out. And then I can,
Send it to me and Christie.
yeah, I'll send it to Christie also.
Yeah.
I'll copy both of y'all and then that's it.
And well, whatever that amount was that he,
I'll send that to y'all too, and y'all can distribute it however, you're my client, so I
Gotcha.
gotta send this to you, and then, it's not a secret, the public can have whatever, but let my communication stay.
Is there a way we can do what?
Oh, this one was, what'd I say,
2.22 was.
no, that was the previous one.
Yeah.
This is 1.77 plus 0.95, 2.72.
Is there a way we can combine the two where me and 4 and Virgil stay the same together, but it has them other changes around Myrtle Springs on it for an option 3?
what now?
That was proposal, I think, 2A.
They had to change 1.
So what you're talking about is, I think what you were talking about is if we go to plan 2. A. So this is the one that, if you look right here, it leaves these 3, which is that new road you talked about. See, I like my analogy when I gave it because it was true. And then, in town right here, it's that same foot that we changed. And then it's
And I don't go.
that area right there.
Yeah. I like that.
And then what we were doing when we stopped was we were flip flopping these back, but then we didn't move forward.
Is that what you want to do?
I just didn't know if you want to have an option with it that way as well, because option 1 has them 2 flop, but has me taking in more.
What
than
he's
you.
saying is he likes the changes that we made in the city right here, not going out there to his new road, but he's in prized possession.
Go ahead and do it.
And,
I don't think Virgil will like it, but go ahead, we'll look at it.
And it's just a proposition.
I'm giving you a hard time, but you brought up your new road a bunch of times. I told you I was sensitive.
No, I had another guy live down there call up and just tell me how much he liked me doing it there. Some itty bitty census blocks. Not the county, I didn't see it, the city.
This is exactly the way it was 10 years ago too. Except we was discussing van. It was over there in Van. Where we gonna cut off in Vans? Is it gonna be in 1, 4?
We may go down and keep on van. Expand it just a touch.
Proposition 1 done that, but it had me going way up high. I didn't want to go way up high.
No.
So I just wanted to make Proposition 1 where 1 and 2 did the same to me. That's what I was after.
That was Country Road towards my house, but just before my house is now.
Okay, so this is Proposition 2A with that one change. And that gets you a percentage of 2.56 plus 0.95, 3.51.
Okay.
All three propositions are within the guidelines.
We're all well below 5%. Just so y'all know,
Can we call that right there Proposition 3?
this is 2A technically.
2A?
Yeah.
Because they started with 2.
We're correct. So 10 years ago, this is your 2010 plan. Y'all got your percentage down to 4.13. This one, it was 3.51, 2.97, 2.72 was 2, and then 2.22 was 1. Yeah.
And this one does have JP2 back in precinct 2.
All of them.
Yeah, because I took it off of Proposition 2.
And this,
I like this one. I also like to have them drill into the ban a little bit. Like I said, I know that the city is actually incorporated and annexed a few things locally.
So I will tell you, this may incorporate the annexes or not. This comes from the Secretary of State's office. So if Van doesn't have separate voting areas.
They don't.
If you do that, you won't be back to 19. The population will go up.
I'm giving away. Can't. No. I'm getting this absolute line.
So Scott, you're
I need to.
gonna have to campaign for 198
I'm giving what Canton and I'm taking more.
instead of 19.
14.
So 19. That comes all the way.
We already
Oh.
198.
So it's gonna take in a lot of that city here. Do what? I think it come all the way up. 198.
198.
243. They changed Virgil changed 243 at 243. And one where it was 19, now it's 198. Yeah, Buffalo comes up now.
Well,
Is that what y'all trying to look at right here?
No, I think
It's the same road, just did it out. Now we go all the way.
to
198 instead of 243.
Is that what you're talking about? Foot that we're talking about?
yeah, that foot right there.
There ain't a whole lot in it, but
That went from 2 to 4
Right here.
well, on the upper end, isn't it?
right there.
Yeah, on the upper end.
We love feet. It takes in brothers.
Okay.
Susan, have you
That's
looked
gonna
at
be-
all of them?
that's gonna be your-
So does that take
Yeah.
in
Okay.
right here at,
Takes in right there at 243 and 198 where it runs it together and then it
Over
goes.
243 and
goes in.
64.
Yeah. But still, that I'm giving away part of Canton, and then I'm taking in Holland Road and everything.
It's pretty good.
Giving city streets and taking in county roads.
Taking in county roads. Come on, guys.
There.
Well, like I said, when we sat down here, we're gonna leave here and everybody be on the same page.
I understand that. I understand it's going to be a vote, and I'm good with the vote. But
So this is the 2A, right?
This what?
2A.
This is
Yes,
2A.
2A.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
After all this is done, last time we left the county road, the same numbers that were. And that really for the JP, just so y'all know, I mean, real problem for us. Not on civil cases, not on criminal cases, because you probably want the county for evictions.
yes.
So the people in those 4,000 roads come file evictions. Well, our school used to not let us, we used to not get tell them, hey, you're in the wrong precinct. That's illegal, right? They finally changed their stance a little bit where we can help them some, but we really don't know, sometimes, I mean, exactly where their house is.
So I will tell you the story behind that. Years ago, the Foursquare counties thought it was a great idea to number their roads so they could easily identify what roads they were responsible for, 1, 2, 3, and 4, whether it be in the 4,000s or whether it just be in the hundreds. So County Road 102 was clearly in 1, 3, and 4. So when rural routes were in existence back in the 1980s, that was fine. You could go change the county road number anytime you wanted to because no one had a county road number as their physical address. And so rural routes were in existence because you had rural route 6, box 24. That was your address. Well, when 911 coordinating came into existence, they actually needed to pull a physical address for your home, not your box number, to send fire, EMS, and sheriff's department out there. So now, when we locked all those numbers in for 911 coordinating, you can't change all those numbers now without changing every single person's address out there. And if you want to make all the voters on County Road 4102 mad, tell them that every single thing they've done, now they have to change their address on every bill they receive and everything because their physical address is 4102. And businesses don't like it either because it's a huge expense.
So that's just.
But and we're done with it forever now.
So just having county roads match precincts. That's not a thing anymore.
No, and they always did before. So when they'd flip them around, they'd go, oh, well, I'm going to call that 3102A. When it really used to be 2102, right? He already had a 3102, and so he just kept it, 3102A. Well, that was all during the rural route numbers. But once we went to, I need to know exactly, pinpointed on a map where you're at for EMS services. So that 911 port, I mean, it's a great thing, but it totally has done away with any, changing the county road names. Because I'll tell you, in cities, it is a huge fight. If you want to watch an interesting thing, go watch the city of Dallas or Austin when they decide that they're going to name a boulevard after someone. Like there's this great general that grew up in Dallas or whatever, and they're going to name it now General John Smith Boulevard, right? Every one of those businesses on there will go to city council and protest because everything, all their business cards, all their licensing, everything is on that. So even though the city council's back there thinking, we're going to do a great job here, this is going to be, the President George W. Bush Road or whatever, the businesses always protest it because it's a huge expense.
Yeah.
Or that maybe the Don Kirkpatrick Memorial, whatever.
What Robert E. Lee. Watch a fight over there.
Well, yeah. Now those, once you start naming it up, but I even just non-controversial ones. I'm not even talking about somebody naming it over that. Just saying, who just passed away, Colin Powell. It's not a really controversial topic. He meets a lot of boxes for a lot of people. You name it Colin Powell Boulevard. Everybody shows up mad, but for different reasons. And it's always the businesses that it's going to be a huge expense on them. And you think it's just an honorable,
You think you're doing something good.
Right. But it's an unintended purpose. Like all of a sudden those city council members are like, why is there 100 people here today? We normally have 3 that show up. Well, you're going to change everybody's address with a different name.
So
So I'll send you 1, 2, and 2A, but you can't leave without doing this because this is the next step to get you to the next thing.
That's correct.
On number 3, should you read it to the bottom paragraph of that?
No.
So the order, do you want me to go through that real quick? Just make it fast. The order today is just that we provided an initial assessment And it showed that the boundary was 10.29, your total maximum deviation was 10.29%. So based on the US Census and your existing political party boundary lines for the 4 Commissioners Court precincts, the finding of facts and regarding the political boundaries of Van Zandt County, based on the publication of the 2020 census data, requires an order for redistricting of the political boundaries because you're out of whack by the 10%. And so the 6 points that it actually makes is: 1, you have made sure that you are aware that you're presumptively unconstitutional under federal law. You're taking all the necessary steps to move forward and accomplish redistricting. You have complied with the Texas Open Meetings Act, and after due consideration of all other legal requirements, which we talked about, the U.S. Constitution, Texas Election Code, and the Voting Rights Act, that you plan to make sure that all of those meet those legal requirements, and you are going to be upcoming at future meeting and public hearing, adopting boundaries that will address the political boundaries and the Commissioner Court boundaries, the JP boundaries, and probably through a subsequent order, you will adopt the voting precinct boundaries, just where we move these people up and make sure that they are accomplished. And your JPs follow the same precinct boundaries for Van Zandt County, correct? So we will correct the JP boundaries to follow exactly how the precinct boundaries are.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the order for redistricting of political subdivisions? The public hearing would be next Wednesday, 9 a.m. We're going to put it in Commissioner's Court. We'll put this in the Commissioner's Court for the public hearing, and then when we come out of the public hearing, we'll vote. You have to. So we need a motion now to approve this order on the findings of fact regarding political boundaries. Is that
correct?
Is that this one here?
Yes. Well, can I ask a question real quick? So what is your dividing line between 2 and 4 right now?
19.
Okay. That's what I thought. And then you've got the public notice in the newspaper running, correct?
We do. We sent it to the newspaper yesterday. It's a weekly paper. It will come out. It goes to the newsstand on Friday.
Okay.
But it's dated for Sunday.
Okay.
And
you're going to post this. Did you post a notice on your website as well? Yeah, you could do that. Do that. You'll give yourself plenty of time. Yeah, just like normal.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So what are they voting on? They're voting on the order.
That's okay.
Right now.
Today they're voting on an order just to move forward with the process of redistricting.
Okay.
Not on any particular plan.
That's correct. That'll be next Wednesday.
That's next Wednesday.
Okay.
Right, Wednesday? Okay.
Correct. Wednesday.
Yeah, you're fine.
The 10th.
The good news is, so that comes out on Sunday, so that gives you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then you have your thing on Wednesday, but it technically comes out Friday, right?
Well, they said it's in the newsstands on Friday.
Okay, so then you really get more than 3 days. You get, and there is no. This is somebody asked me, what's the legal requirements? You know, there's a lot of Texas statutes that y'all deal with that say 30 days, 7 days, 10 days before. This is just Voting Rights Act compliance, just to make sure you give as much notice as you can. There is no definition. There is no statutory date in there that you have 3 days. It's not like the Texas Open Meetings Act of 72
That's
hours.
what I was
But
wondering.
we are complying with it anyway, because you're gonna post it just like you normally would. Well, before even your 72 hours, if y'all already got it ready and posted here on your website everywhere, but you're also giving that newspaper notice in case somebody shows up.
And that was my question. I didn't want to ask you in this meeting. I was gonna ask you before you left. It's not gonna be 72 hours in the paper. But you said if possible. The email you sent
Well,
me
it
said
will be
3 days.
72
So that's
before,
coming
because
out
the paper comes out on Sunday, so you've got what time?
Yeah, it comes out on
Friday.
Sunday. Yeah, it comes out on Sunday.
But it comes out on Sunday too, so you've got all day Sunday, all day Monday, all day Tuesday, that's 72 hours. Then you don't convene until Wednesday morning.
Okay, we got you.
So you got 72 on all bases.
Okay, that was my concern. So is there a motion, is there a motion to
Tim's
move
already-
forward with the
Tim got it.
process? Yeah, you got it, Tim?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pearson. Any questions or discussion? Being none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner West. Is there a second?
So moved.
Got a motion by Commissioner Melton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.
So I've been at multiple of these, and I've been trying to gather my stuff up, and not really paying attention, and the judge said like, all in favor say aye, and I literally have been here, and I've been like,